Hi, everybody. My name is Mike Henry. I'm the Executive Director at Lighthouse Writers Workshop. I'm here with our highly esteemed staff members, some of them, not all of them. The wonderful people on your screen are individuals who have either gotten recent promotions at Lighthouse, and we have a couple of new folks too. So we thought it would be really fun to introduce you to them via Zoom. Perhaps you've heard of this new technology. It's called Zoom. I think it's really sort of interesting. And so we're just gonna have a really casual conversation. This will be unedited, obviously. So it may be, I don't know, rough's not the right word, but just human. Let's just say it would be really human. So hi, everybody. How you doing, guys?
Hey.
Yeah. Hey. Maybe we should go around the rectangles, and if you could just say who you are and what your job title is. And if you had a previous job title at Lighthouse, just what that was. And then just like a quick summary of what you do, what that job means. So how's that sound? Cool.
Sounds good.
Right.
Perfect.
Genna, you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Genna Kohlhardt. I am currently the Assistant Director of Adult Programs at Lighthouse. I was formerly the Workshops Program Coordinator. I've had a lot of different job titles at Lighthouse. I've been at the organization for almost 5 years now. I think it'll be 5 years in August, which seems crazy. So my job, it involves wearing many hats, which I think is probably true of all of us. Predominantly, I spend a lot of my time organizing the schedules for our weekly workshops, working with teachers to make sure those workshops are easy for them to run, of the highest caliber they possibly can, evaluating workshops, working with teachers to do teacher training and continual kind of pedagogy development with them. But I also do a lot of work with Grand Lake Retreat, and then I have my hands in pretty much everything else too, in some form or another. And when I say that stuff out loud, it doesn't sound like it's a whole lot, but it's a whole lot.
It's a ton. It's a ton.
It's a ton.
How many workshops do we have in our 4 sessions per year, would you say?
In each session, we're running anywhere from 80 to 90 concurrent workshops, and that's 4 sessions per year, plus a small July session. So it's quite a few. I also manage volunteers and interns, work on hiring teachers, work with teachers if they have any issues. And so it kind of is, my role really is about kind of ensuring the depth and quality of the workshops. I work really closely with Andrea Dupree on that, who's been a really great leader in that way. But I come from a nonprofit role, and so I try and help out in every other place I can too as well.
Awesome. I'm so glad you're still here after 5 years.
I love it. It's a great place.
And for a really long time, we've had this ongoing conversation, like, is a manager, is that a higher level than coordinator? And it's been an existential discussion. So, but now you're a manager, right?
Assistant director.
Director. Oh, that you just jumped right past that.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about that title for like maybe 3 or 4 months to try and figure out like what felt best. Because I mean, the thing about working at Lighthouse is because it's grown so much since I've started, is we kind of, you know, we all inherit a little bit of our roles, but we're all kind of inventing our jobs at the same time, like seeing what needs to get done and doing it. So I think we often end up doing stuff that's outside of our positions, and our positions often have to evolve to accommodate that.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. Awesome. Well, thank you. Andrea, you want to go next?
Sure. My name is Andrea. I am the Marketing and Communications Manager. And that pretty much means that I'm like the person in your face. Well, behind the words, but in your face. So I manage all the communications that are going through social, all the press, all the newsletters. And before, I was an intern before this at the Lighthouse many moons ago. So my title also changed in a way. And I also jumped titles. But now I'm here.
I'm so glad you're here, because there's a lot of messaging that goes out.
Yes, especially right now.
Yes, and a lot of fretting over language and words and sentences, because most of us on staff, we're writers, and so there's a lot of group writing projects that happen. So Andrea's doing a great job. It's so great to have you here. You just started what, like 2 days ago?
It feels like forever ago, but I started on the 1st as an April Fool's joke, and you guys just kept me, so.
There's probably jokes somewhere like, well, when you get paid, then you'll really see the joke. But awesome, thank you. Manuel, you want to go next?
Sure. I'm Manuel Aragon. I'm now the community engagement manager. Prior to that, I was the operations manager at Lighthouse for 3.5 years. And so in a lot of ways, it's operations, you kind of end up doing a little bit of everything. And so moving into community engagement manager, it's still a little bit of everything, but in a different way. And so organizing, a lot of our programs, so sort of our one-off programs in the community, our collaborations with community partners. Recently, it's looked like our virtual happy hour readings every Friday. And I'm just really excited about this new position.
I'm so happy for you. I just got to say, I mean, you've been such a dedicated participant, member, worker. It was just really exciting to have you move into this new position. I'm really excited for the vision that you're going to bring to it, and the know-how, and it's just, I'm happy to still have your calm, fun personality on staff. So congratulations, I guess, is the best reason.
Well, thanks.
And is that your home office that you're in?
Yeah, I used my gubernatorial powers and seized my son's desk. And, from certain angles, it looks like a really cool loft, like in New York, as opposed to like a, 13-year-old's loft bunk bed.
If it was really cool, it would look like your loft in Brooklyn.
Yeah, we're not that cool.
Awesome. All right, Paul, you want to go next?
Sure. So my name is Paul Suazo, and I am the new operations manager. So as Manuel moves on into community engagement, I'm sort of what comes after the segue. So like he mentioned, it's a lot of the daily back-end operational type things like finances and staff issues, technology, facilities, but also I'm general support for the full staff. So wherever I'm needed to fill in whatever way, that's what I do. So I've been at Lighthouse. So I was a member and participant in workshops for many years before coming to work here. So in a way, I have a title change too.
Right.
So, but since I've been at Lighthouse, it's a rapid change in how the world is functioning now. So it's been a lot of implementing systems and making sure that we continue to be an artistic space for our community and that sort of thing.
Yeah. Paul, how long were you at Lighthouse before we had to start working from home?
6 days.
Yeah. Yeah. So both Paul and Andrea have kind of started at we laugh because almost all of us have had some sort of kind of crazy onboarding. Manuel started right in the middle of Lit Fest a couple of years ago, which is a really interesting time to start working at Lighthouse. But I think Paul and Andrea, you guys probably take the cake for most interesting start working here.
It's been fun.
Right? Yeah. Andrea, you've never had an official day at the Lighthouse building, have you?
No, I haven't. And everybody's like, oh, this is so weird. And I'm like, I'm going to go to work at the house, and it's going to be weird for me to be around so many people.
Right. Right. Crazy. Well, you've all been troopers, I have to say. It's been inspiring and kind of fun. I don't know. Maybe that's not really right, but it's been real, I guess. Just doing this all remotely. I feel like we've been busier than ever, which is crazy. When you guys say?
Yeah, I think that's definitely true. I mean, I think it's a combination of a couple of things. I mean, we are seeing writing. We're lucky in that writing is something that can be at least closely taken online, and we can still create a really meaningful and deep community online. We know a lot of folks at other arts organizations that struggle to bring their art forms online because they're sculpting or, you know, doing ceramics or something like that. So we've been really lucky in that way. And I think that that's kind of given us a little bit of growth, which is kind of cool. We have got people in workshops from all over the world, which we weren't able to do before. It also means that we've had to implement a lot of new systems very quickly. And we've been learning very quickly and making mistakes very quickly in that process. But yeah, there's a lot more to do, I think, at this point.
And making fixes very quickly too.
Yes, adapting super fast.
Yes. And scheduling Zoom meetings for 10 virtual classroom spaces, I gotta say, that looks like so much fun, everybody. That looks really fun.
Yeah, Zoom is really great. I mean, it works really well, but we offer a lot of programming simultaneously. So making that work is a challenge.
Yes, yes. This is sort of related to what we've just been saying. So in this new landscape, again, we're not really sure when we'll get back to working at Lighthouse at 1515 Race, when the workshops will be in person. Is there anything, is there anything that is possibly good that might come out of this, do you think? In terms of your job, I guess, you know?
Yeah, I think, at least for me, you know, moving into this community engagement position, it is, I think Genna hit on this. We, people right now especially are hungering for community. And so we have an opportunity to kind of re-envision what that means for Lighthouse. And so in the past, it's definitely meant in-person social gatherings. But now we've been presented with a really awesome opportunity for community to exist virtually. And it's been great to have people, some of our old members, some new members who live out of Colorado, in other states and other countries, connect with us and get to reconnect with the community or just engage with a new community. And that's a really, you know, I think it's going to be something that it's an exciting thing to think about how broad the Lighthouse community is now.
Yeah, I mean, I would add to that to say that we've become simultaneously more accessible in different ways. I mean, we have to be honest that technology is not accessible to everyone. So we're trying really hard to make sure that we are as accessible as possible to people who are not familiar with Zoom and stuff. And that is an accessibility challenge for us. But we all also know that at 1515 Race, we had our own accessibility challenges, whether that's the fact that, you know, we only had 2 classrooms we could put classes with people with mobility challenges in. You know, people who lived in the burbs or who worked often had a hard time getting to the house for a class because of traffic. And so I think, you know, how we adapt to this world and how we take it with us when we can return to in-person programming will allow us to be more accessible to people who couldn't always take classes.
And I think it also offers an opportunity to take our message about what we do and what we stand for and our values and our vision to a much wider audience. I mean, I think Genna mentioned we have people registering for classes from around the world now. And that gives us not just the ability to talk about what Lighthouse is and how it changes people's lives, but also to talk about what writing is and what that means to people and what it does for our culture and our world. And I think that's an opportunity that, you know, is coming out of a challenging time.
And so if there's anything that you might be looking forward to, you know, we're going to survive this. You know, we are going to be back in the building at some point. Lighthouse will continue on. Is there anything in terms of your job, like, you know, and these could be like just goals that you have in the position or things that you are, you know, you see as possibilities for Lighthouse? Anything that you're looking forward to, like for the rest of 2020? Just getting settled. Sorry.
I'm looking forward to using the audience that we're creating right now and like reaching them further throughout the year, because right now we're kind of stuck in a place where we can only do virtual engagement. But when we can do both, it's going to be like there is no limit for us. So it'll be fun seeing what we can do in the year once we can start seeing each other again and still incorporate like Zoom meetings and workshops and things virtually.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited too for all the people who found us through this crisis to get to be a part of our community in person as well. I mean, that's something I've seen in a lot of evaluations that we've been doing is a lot of people are taking their first Lighthouse class right now because they had all this extra time or they were looking for some kind of community or some kind of just space to be creative and let themselves express themselves. And I'm really excited for those of them who live in Colorado, who can come to Colorado, who can come to Lighthouse to get to know the in-person community as well too, because that's a really special thing that we have. I think it's very different than a lot of other organizations of our kind, is just the warmth of our community.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Genna hit on this piece too, that I am excited to, this opens up a new space of accessibility for Lighthouse, and who is able to attend our workshops in the ways that they're able to attend our workshops. And just thinking about some of these events that are sort of, I think we'll see some hybrid events that will be this virtual and in person, but it will be an experience that we hope is for everyone who's there, so to speak, that it will be a great time, and that in that accessibility space that there are not people who feel left out of what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, even thinking of some of the other, we've kind of just scratched the surfaces on ways that we can use technology to reach audiences who have accessibility issues. And so I'm excited to see what else we can do with that going forward.
Yeah. Paul, do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I have a fairly specific one. I'm excited to see. I'm excited about Storyfest. Really.
Yeah.
And and the timeline, it's might change. Things might change, but I'm excited about what that is going to bring for the organization. Something new.
I am too. And for those of you who don't know, so Storyfest the plan was to do a weekend festival based on how story narrative works throughout, obviously in literature, but across all the art forms, sort of like a book festival, but expanded. And that was supposed to take place, or I'm going to say is, supposed to take place the first weekend in October. So we've been planning that for about a year and a half now. We're very hopeful that it'll actually happen. There's a chance it might happen virtually. There's a chance it might get postponed till the spring or some other time, but we're still got our fingers crossed that it can happen. I think I love what you've all said so far. I think for me, I always go back. I don't know why. There's something about LitFest that feels like, part anniversary party, part birthday, part graduation ceremony, part wedding. I don't know. There's something about it. I just feel like there's just this communing that happens there. And I'm going to miss that this year, just hanging out with people on the front porch and in the side yard and in the tent. But I think I'm looking forward to the time when we actually get back together. And I think there will be this sense of camaraderie within the community that, and I feel this for the entire Lighthouse community, and maybe even that larger Denver arts community, the Colorado arts community, that we've survived this together. And I'm hopeful like as a society, we feel that, and we feel this renewed sense of belonging to one another, responsibility to one another. And in that respect, we have this renewed sense of caring for one another. And I think, I can't wait to sort of have that feeling in person with other people. I think also as a staff, I think, we're already talking about it. It's sort of like the idea like, oh my God, we survived this. Can you believe that? It's sort of like, two of the five of us here on the screen, just haven't really sat at their desk yet, and so I think, sort of looking back on it, like, boy, we got through that together, and I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I want to add to that too, to say, like, I'm just really looking forward to like seeing the rest of the staff in person again. I mean, I think Lighthouse staff is a really fun community to be a part of, and it's so collaborative. And there's something spontaneous about sharing a house space together, where we're like, I'll talk to Lori about tennis for 20 minutes, and then all of a sudden we'll be talking about programming and come up with something interesting. Or it's just interesting to talk to Lori about tennis, because she's like a total ass kicker at tennis. And I miss kind of some of that collaboration and warmth, although I think we've learned pretty well how to manage this the best we can from where we are. But I will really look forward to being in the office with everybody again.
Yeah, right. It's just so much fun just to hang out and hear what people are going through, what they're talking about, what's going on in their lives. Listening to people on phone calls is always kind of fun.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Just the fascinating community that we engage with. These wonderful people that just show up at Lighthouse.
Yeah,
I kind of miss that. So I have a final question, and it's a pretty maybe a philosophical one. I'm not really sure. No, it's not. It's more like a creative prompt. So yeah, get your creative mindset in. So when you think about Lighthouse now, or just in general, is there a specific image or a collection of words that come to mind?
I can start, since I've probably been there the longest. For me, it's always the circus tent for Litfest. Like that tent encapsulated everything that's true about Lighthouse, and that it is like fun and wacky and whimsical and like a little random sometimes. Like sometimes it seems like we're really scrappy, and actually that's true, we're scrappy. But we can like get it together, and like really great things come out of it. And so I love like just the image of the circus tent, and like the warmth of having like huge crowds underneath it, with like watching Ross Gay like make jokes and make everybody laugh. But I also just love the idea of thinking of it as a circus tent, and like what that means like in a metaphoric way too.
It can be a circus, yeah, with clowns and everything. I think you're right. How about the rest of you guys?
So the space, I keep thinking of this space in my head of the grotto, and the grotto jam-packed with people, and I can't wait until we're able to just get together again in that sort of way.
Violate the fire code again?
It's like a home occupancy thing, so it's not a business code.
Private residence.
Yes, but yeah, it's that space where you think of Litfest and the craft talks, you think of the Christmas party, you think of the readings that occur throughout the year, the Friday 500s, queer creatives writing in color, and I've just been thinking about that, and how just how we come together in space, and I'm looking forward and thinking ahead to that piece.
I think so. I've participated in that fest as someone who went to workshops and sessions and all these things. I think I've done 3 of them. And for me, it was always, I always think of, you run into someone who is a member of the community and you haven't seen in a long time, and it's always fun. Creating a text thread to meet other people who have become part of your writing community through Litfest, so that you make sure that you meet together at an event there, and then do something afterward, drinks or dinner or whatnot. That was always such a pleasure of mine going to Litfest. And then just the ideas. So it's just like an explosion of conversation and thoughts and talking and motivation, really, to continue whatever project you might be working on. But that's not quite an image, but that's.
I said you use words too.
Well, I haven't been at the Lighthouse house
Right.
for many years. Well, I went in for the interview, but before that, my internship was in 2017. So from then, I remember just feeling a sense of community just within, I mean, I'm sure there is community within the writing community, but just staff. Like I was sitting, when I was an intern, I would sit in the main office area, and I was with Manuel, Genna, and Laura. And just, it was like, you just felt like the camaraderie from the staff there. You felt how passionate everyone was and how much everyone cared about what they were doing. So that's just the same, what comes to mind when I think about the house is just we all care so much and everybody wants everyone to succeed, and it just feels like a community within the community. So yeah.
Well said. I will point out that so there are 4 people in that office, and that office is probably 80 square feet. So maybe that helped with the sense of camaraderie.
Yes, we were all sharing the same breath.
One symbiotic organism.
My favorite was when somebody would come in and then look at all 4 of us and just be like, which one of you do I talk to? It was like, I don't know. Like, we'll help you.
Nobody's making eye contact, but there's 4 people here. No, that never happened.
No. Although you get some really fun folks coming into that office kind of randomly. It's pretty great.
Always. Yeah. It's an adventure just to get there to the back office, right? Because they have to do the serpentine through the house.
Yeah. People walking into the front of the house going, hello.
Right. Right. Yeah. Well, it's a pleasure and an honor to work with all of you. I am so excited you're part of the staff. Welcome to the new people. Congratulations to the 2 of you who have moved up in the world. I hope everybody who's watching this, the millions of people who will be watching this, enjoyed this little interlude. And take care, everybody. And hopefully we will see you soon, whether it's virtually or in person. Thank you.